time and the honor of speaking before you guys. One of the things I got elected back in tribal politics. I first got elected in 1998, and at that time, healthcare was really an issue on our reservation and on the Cheyenne River Sioux Indian Reservation. And back then, there was lack of resources, particularly financial. And ended up being elected chairman in 2006, and then I was out for 8 years, and I come back in 2014. And healthcare has not improved on the Cheyenne River Indian Reservation. But one of the things I learned is there wasn't a lack of resources. We were fortunate to get a new facility, which allowed us to get a pretty good increase in our funding. And one of the things I want to talk about, I know it's been talked about quite frequently in Congress, is a wall. One of the things we're fortunate in our service unit that we have a huge. To us, it's very huge, but it's a pretty good savings in third-party billing. It's in excess of $24 million, and one of the number one priorities of our service unit is to build a wall around the entire facility. I mean, we find that really just crazy with all of our needs. One of the things that we have a need of is dialysis. I mean, we've done a feasibility in conjunction, and I'll kind of get to where the problem lies, but it's around $5 million. I mean, and with $24 million, we definitely have the resources to build it. Right now, we have members. We do have a private dialysis on a reservation, but because of the amount of people that need it, we've still got 3 to 4 members that travel either to Spearfish, South Dakota, or Bismarck, North Dakota, 3 days a week for dialysis, and they're about 135 to 150 miles one way. And my mother was on dialysis, so I know the toll it takes on a person with dialysis. So it's really an issue. We got high suicide rates. I know last year which were not very sad, but we averaged about 11 attempts a month, and we were nearly one completion a month, which is really sad. I mean, we got a lot of high needs, treatment, meth treatment. I mean, these are things we try to work with. We put resolutions, requesting IHS to build these facilities. I mean, they have the money on a reservation. But one of the biggest problems where it lies is in the area office. I mean, I will downright call them dictators. They micromanage the service units. Every time there's an issue, there's no consultation. You're probably well aware of Rosewood, Pine Ridge, and Winnebago had problems. And like I said, we were fortunate to have the resources. They took $4.6 million out of our H&C dollars and sent it to pay a contractor without consultation of our tribe. And that's a big problem. They don't consult. They don't share information. They transfer our people out. Like right now, our budget person on the service unit is detailed up to Aberdeen, and we were never consulted. We have questions, and probably very likely he's being paid out of our budget. So there's a lot of problems that's going on. And when I kind of go back, we did have our council passed a resolution asking to eliminate the Aberdeen area office, Great Plains area office, and send all the funding and the authorities down to the local service units. Because right now, one example is a couple years back, I met with our service unit director, and they had like 66 vacancies. And when we get back to my office, one of my staff looks it up on USA Jobs, and out of all the vacancies, only 6 were advertised. So the problem is a lot of the biggest problems with the area office. One of the things that patient care, that's something that they have forgotten. Because when I did talk to IHS about this wall, they said, hey, we got to stay in compliance. And so that's their main priority. And one of the things Senator Rounds, he introduced, I guess it's now S498, and I really hope that Congress passes that, and that's doing an audit on IHS. He did kind of a study, and within the study, he found a huge amount of administrative and very little doctors. I mean, that's something that has to be looked at and be dealt with. I mean, we need solutions, and 10 seconds, so I'll be really quick. I bought some packets that really briefly to show you that this is a report that IHS has given me and given to us. And if you could see the amount of carryover, and when you look through their top priorities to build this wall and second is dialysis, and third is the treatment. So thank you for the opportunity.
And the whole issue on consultation. I appreciate you bringing up broadband. I was able to secure a place on the Agriculture Finance Committee for Appropriations, and one of the things I'm going to talk about is many of the programs that are in there in Indian Country also affect the quality of life, health, and safety. So thank you for bringing that up. Part of the other testimony that was in here was when, I mean, unless people really look at a map to see the areas that you gentlemen cover and how close the nearest quote unquote public hospital is, I think people have a full understanding of just the isolation that still exists here in the United States. So one of the points that you brought up was with law enforcement, Mr. Feinhock, that if you send someone, if law enforcement picks someone up and you take them to a healthcare facility, all the charges and everything that are kind of incurred, and then you have a law enforcement officer that isn't out patrolling the area. Has there been any discussions about better joint powers or mutual aid or anything between the tribal hospitals, clinics, and ERs, and the other hospitals and clinics and ERs? And I bring this up because we're all citizens of the United States. We're all taxpayers of the United States, and getting people health care and not going into debt when they're referred or go out of network, off the reservation to receive critical health care if they think they're having a heart attack. In reading some of the testimony, you talk about how all of a sudden people have these large bills and it's causing hardships. If you touch on that, and then diabetes, getting to dialysis. I mean, I know what the winter was like in the Twin Cities. 55 below, 75 below wind chills. You can't be outside for more than just a few seconds. I mean, people think it's cold here. Well, welcome to the bold north, right? So you are not going to get in a car and go to dialysis. Or if you go and the winds take up. I've been in whiteouts. And we talked about this before. Has there been any conversation that you've been able to engage with the Indian Health Services about working in conjunction to receive either more dialysis within the reservation and maybe opening it up for people who live nearby? I've talked about this before, or vice versa. Because I don't see any movement on this, and this is something that I know firsthand from a grandmother who was going from Montana into Williston, North Dakota, and how dangerous it was in the winter to go to dialysis. So if you could just kind of touch on some of those things. I know they're pretty broad, but
right now, yesterday we talked, and back home we have a lot of snow. I believe two of our schools, all of our tribal schools, they average, I think, around 14 days of no school because of the snow and because of the cold. But we have 51 dialysis patients that we have to struggle to get out and plow them out, because some of them live out in the communities and even out in the country. So it is really a hardship, and that's interesting. We met with Weaki, and we talked to him about this dialysis, and one of the things he was upfront with, he said IHS does not provide this, but on the Standing Rock Indian Reservation, they do have dialysis in their IHS facility. So it has been done, and it can be done. So that's something that we had a discussion with them, but they didn't seem very excited about it. And this is what I want to say overall, too. I really found it sad is because we come here not just for healthcare, but education, road, law enforcement, etc. But the top people in these agencies are not here this week. They're on travel. Tony Dearman, we have a meeting with the director. He's not in town. Tara Sweeney's not in town. And also Weaki. I mean, we come up here, and they knew that Indians were coming this week for appropriation. Nation, and it's sad that they all skipped town, so I guess we're gonna have to talk to their secretaries and say hello to janitors. So that's something that they need to really be slapped on the hand about, is that when they come to town for help, you know, let's help them. So,
Yeah, we knew when you were gonna be in town.
yeah.
We'll be seeing all those people later passing on your
Good, thank you.
I just have one problem, Chairman Fisher. As I look at these numbers that you just provided, there's $1 million for the wall and $2 million for backfill around the entire facility.
Isn't that just after?
Are they backfilling existing premises that were built, or?
You know, I can honestly say they have never consulted with us. So, I mean, they have never consulted with me. And as a tribal nation, they need to come before our entire tribal council, the governing body, to consult with us. And as a matter of fact, they should be doing that at least once a year, but they don't. So I couldn't really say what the backfill was. That might be a good question. Or we will ask you when he comes.
Okay.
He's aware of it. He got this report because I gave it to him and I questioned him on it as well. He had no idea what it was.
Well, it's your property.
Yeah.
Ask before you dig.
Yeah, it's a lot of backfill. Somewhere you got a big hole that needs to be backfilled.
Yeah.
You should know about.
Yeah.
Thank you all for your time and coming forward today. I appreciate all your input.